Oh, hello. How it's good to be back. Ladies and gentlemen, we got the full squad in the house today. Of course, it's going to be a good one. Why? Because it's the second episode of the year for Goalloungetv, second episode of pre-match Muti in total, 81 episodes. There's a lot of sort of banging coming from the Arsenal end. We don't know exactly what that is, but it could be excitement. But before I get into that, we've got top right hand
It's Nketiah trying to get in the room, Oaks. You know Nketiah.
We got at the bottom Silo, Lolo, Kale, and at the bottom right we got Nick, the King of the North. Gentlemen, before we kick off the show, it's just good to give the viewers a recap of what we'll be discussing. We're going to be looking at the game, the big game of the weekend, the Arsenal 3-2 victory over Man United. We're going to be discussing the Carabao Cup prospects of the semi-finals. We're going to look at the top 4 predictions, relegation candidates, and look at the best signings of the season. And of course, end the show with our usual betting corner where we make predictions on the Premier League fixtures this coming weekend. Right. So,
Carabao.
Carabao.
Well, is that how you say it?
That's how you say it, yeah. I know people say Carabao, but in Portuguese, the AL makes a oung sound. So it's Carabao.
Okay. No, I hear you. Also, have you found your barber yet? But yeah, how's it going, lads?
My barber's on leave. I'm just going to disclose that. And if you're joining us for the first time, don't forget to do the right thing. And Nick, what do we do? What do we do when I say this? What is it?
Subscribe.
Right, there we go. Introduce yourself there, Wonga. Say hello. Tell us how you really feel about everything before we talk about the game.
Guys, come on. You know me, I'm feeling on top of the moon, Oaks. Top of the moon, and I can't wait until the day. It's going to be noisy for you guys. If it does come down to it.
A lot of noise in the background there. Hey, Silo.
That's me rubbing my hands.
Man,
if it does come down to it.
Man is not doing his clicking of the pen anymore. He's now rubbing his hands. He's look at the screen. It's clear, it's crisp. It's almost lagging. I don't know, you get like new internet provided by Mikel Arteta or something.
Yeah, the
man himself.
Sponsored by Arsenal. Silo, how are you feeling?
I'm all good. It's good to be back on the show. Missed it last week for other reasons, but yeah, good to be back.
What were those reasons? You're very sheepish. You're just saying other reasons. Nick, do you know what these other reasons were?
Hey man, I was out and about in the streets of Johannesburg, having a top or two.
Listen, I haven't been on a show with Silo, I think, since June last year, so I'm not too sure what Silo has to say about that.
I actually realized that it's actually been a while because I was trying to show someone that they should subscribe to the show. I was just showing them like the show. So you know, with the thumbnail, it shows who's on the show. And I was like, Philip, I don't see my face here anyway. Am I part of the show?
Yeah, don't worry, guys. Silo's been missing like Anthony's been missing on the pitch there for Man United. So let's get straight into it, gents. First game there.
He's got 5 goals, brother.
3-2.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
3, Man United 2. I mean, Silo, I don't know. Do you want to be polite and let the league leader kick off his thoughts, or do you wanna give your views before we listen to the Arsenal rant?
Let's hear the positivity coming from Wanga's mouth, and then obviously I think I'll share my views on the game.
Yeah, look. Again, I think for us it's a great result. Especially if you look at the pressure that came off the before the game. There was definitely more pressure for us. You know, there was a saying, if Man United win, then people were thinking that most people would think that Arteta's run is just maybe it's going to begin to go down now, because they can't get the better of Man United now. And I just think if just from the beginning, the hype to the game, the expectancy, I think everyone, I think in terms of even from a neutral point of view, everyone got a good game. And from an Arsenal point of view, when as soon as the game started, the Emirates, I've not heard the Emirates like that. I don't think ever. It was used to be very quiet, but yeah, it was quiet. It used to be quiet, but the the guys were behind the players, even when we were 2-2, when we were drawn 2-2, the guys were behind, the fans were behind the players. And I think a well-deserved win at the end, and a good game for the neutral as well. It's a cuck game to lose, and I think Silo would agree with that. But losing to Arsenal, at this point, I don't think any Man United fan is sad about that. We were just tops. Ketia.
All right, is that as far as you want to go? Yeah, I was expecting a lot more energy, a lot more buoyancy, but I suppose that smile says it all. Silo, when you're watching it, I mean, the game victory snatched out of your hands right at the end of the game. It was a classic for a neutral, like Wanga's saying. How are you feeling on that end of that Nketiah blow?
Nah, man, I think it just shows the hunger of Arsenal as a team this season in terms of how they've been playing, the togetherness. I think a lot of the games against the lesser sides, they would seal the victory already in the first half most of the time. But obviously when they come against tougher opposition, where they actually have to face their real tests, they've actually come out on the victorious side a couple of times this season, even though we beat them the first time around. But I think obviously also this is a team that has grown in leaps and bounds. Confidence is high. I think when you're at the top of the log and then you're continuing to, even when you're not playing well, actually get the victories across the line, then you actually feel that you can probably win any single type of match, no matter the occasion. And I think the energy that they got from the crowd was also what helped them and spurred them on. And I think that Man United could have obviously done better. I think also Man United going into the game after the late equalizer that we had against Crystal Palace didn't help us for our momentum. That momentum didn't help us going into the game. Yes, we did play well in the first half, but obviously the second half, Arsenal were the better side. But I think if we had gotten maybe that victory against Palace 3 days before that, we would have maybe gotten maybe that extra bit of energy to perhaps
pressure
get
on Arsenal.
that pressure as well, to perhaps get that draw or perhaps even get that victory. But I think that late equalizer against Palace was kind of what just didn't give us that edge over them. But at the end of the day, I think well done Arsenal. 19 more games to go for you guys, and obviously let's see if you guys can continue that momentum in the second half.
Well, we're gonna talk about what this means later. I mean, we've touched on the fact that we're gonna discuss our top 4 predictions coming into this. Nick, when you were looking at it from a neutral perspective, or more likely from a Newcastle perspective, what did you like from an Arsenal perspective, or what did you fear in terms of both these teams that you're looking at? Because there was a comment that was made. I think Thierry Henry said, look, it's taken Arsenal 3 years to get to this point with Arteta and the revolution or transformation rather than all the money that's been spent. Man United, we can see a stark difference in terms of where they're at, and it's only been 6 months under Ten Hag. I mean, which side realistically are you more scared of currently now in this season and in the future?
Yeah, I think it's a tricky question because I still think they're both in a transition phase. The fact that Wonga and his Arsenal team are sitting on top of the log doesn't necessarily mean that they probably thought that they would be challenging for the title this season. So I still think Arteta's long-term plan was probably, a little bit sort of further down the line. But I do think they are, obviously showing that they have the material to potentially, compete at that level. I think I called it in the last show. I did see a Man United trying to sit in and draw an Arsenal out and hit them on the counter, and I think Rashford's goal is personified in that move. So I think it wasn't in terms of with Man United in the up. I think it was quite a tactical affair if you want to look at it from that point of view. I think in terms of the quality, I think Arsenal had a bit more. But I just want to make a comment. I was just having a look at the league table. It's not a foregone conclusion. I think I don't know which position I'd rather be in. But if City win that first game when they play each other in the league, the conversation changes completely. And I'm sorry to say that, Wonga, because then it's 2 points and you still have to play them again. So I think that will define the season, that game specifically. And Arsenal, we spoke about the Spurs game. We spoke about the Man United game. Is that going to be the difference? And is that going to define their season? I don't think it does. I think you actually need to look at those fixtures and say, we need to win those. And then when we play Man City, we need to win that game. And that will solidify us as potential contenders. I would hate to be Arsenal 2 points in front of Man City with still having to play them, probably with 16 games to go. I don't know. I just thought about it today. I was looking at it. I would hate to be in that position. But the cards sit with Arsenal, and they're playing good football. They deserve to be there right now. Again, Mwanga, I spoke to you already last week. I do worry about the depth. I do see that they're very active. So I think if they can add one or two more, I think it will hold you in good stead. So I think Celo hit the nail on the head. 19 games to go. There's still a long, long way to go. You don't win a prize for being top of the log right now.
Nick, on that point, and I'm going to ask this question to both Celo and Wonga here with regards to being Arteta as things stand. Would you rather be in the situation that you are right now? Would you want to be chasing the pack as the underdog in terms of when that big game comes? And let's start with you first, Wonga.
Oh. Yeah, look, if you look at it, you'd say you'd rather be the underdog, but I mean, Arsenal, I can't lie, they're doing well at the moment with, that pressure on them. I mean, it's Man City that's behind them, Oaks. It's not like, like they're most likely going to win their games. And it looks like, at the moment, it looks like it's working because they know that they can't afford to drop points. And they've seemed to be responding well to that. They're not getting draws yet. They've only drawn against Newcastle, and they've lost to Man United. The rest is W's, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's just been wins. And that's extraordinary, And I don't think they do that without a Man City on their tails. That's the honest truth. So I think this.
Kicked out.
Yeah.
Hey, we're back.
Did we all get kicked out?
I think so.
Yeah, as I was like, there's noise. My connection looks
smooth. It's just me.
Load shedding is really not working out for streaming. Yeah, for live streaming, it's not working out. Yeah. All right, let's keep going there. Sorry, Celo. What are your takes as a manager, as a fan, being in the situation they've been or currently find themselves in the form of Arteta, inexperienced but leading, or would you rather have Arteta chasing?
Listen, I think you'd rather be leading in this situation. I think just because of the experiences of Liverpool, when Liverpool have been second to City, chasing City, and then being 1 point short, I think you'd rather be in Arteta's position of being in leading the pack, because Liverpool has come up short so many times. There's even a season where I saw a City fan on Twitter posting how it was. I think it was probably like 3 or 4 seasons ago, where at this stage of the season, right, Liverpool won 51 points and Man City was on 46 points, right, and halfway stage, and then Man City won the league, but Liverpool came up short, just short. So I think right now that would have maybe played into their mind a little bit. They probably would have fallen away quicker than a Liverpool, for instance, if they were second, I think. But let's see what happens. I think, listen, this season still has a long way to go. There is still the Europa League coming up for Arsenal. Let's see how seriously they take that competition. If they take it very seriously, then obviously that won't be good for them. But obviously, I think what they must just do is they must play the players that aren't starting regularly. Just keep them happy by playing them in the Europa League. So you start the game with your Lokongas, your Trossards of this world. You play those guys in the Europa League, and then guys who are first team players getting back to fitness, like a Gabriel Jesus coming back to fitness, you stick him into a Europa League game just to get back fitness, and so on and so forth. So I think, hey, listen, guys, I think every Arsenal fan, I didn't know there was a big Arsenal fan club in South Africa, but apparently the Brazen Head was buzzing.
They've come out of the woodworks.
They've
all come out of their dark little
those shirts
corners there.
all those Sega O2 Fly Emirates shirts have those all Fly Emirates shirts. The Nike ones, the Puma ones.
Don't read too much.
Dust it off.
Don't read too much into that, Silo, because with the whole vintage kit thing being a fashion trend now, these guys could have just bought that online. So we don't know how long they've had these shirts for as well. Yeah, how many of those Arsenal fans are out there, Wonga Denga?
True.
Anyway, gents, we're gonna move on to the Carabao Cup, and I think this is a big one, largely from a Newcastle perspective, and actually technically from a Man United perspective, because it's been a while since Man United have won a trophy. And I think Ten Hag's come out saying he wants to do what he can to win this thing. But both teams sitting in good positions. I think obviously Man United the happier of the two. Nick's saying if they make it to the final, he's buying himself a ticket to go to London. Gents, let's kick off
that means Nick is off to London soon. Because the fact that you're going to St. James's, if you're going to St. Mary's for second leg, I would have said hold on a bit.
Yeah, listen. I was pleased with the performance, but we didn't play too well. So I'm not gonna. This is Newcastle after all. They've broken my heart more times than they've actually made my heart happy. So let me just wait for next week Wednesday, and then we'll see from there.
Proper.
What did you think about the performance, Nick? Just give us some insight as to what got them across the line there.
Yeah, I'll be very honest with you. I think it was one of our poorer performances of the season. We had a load of chances. And Eddie Howe's teams generally create a lot of chances, but we weren't very clinical, missing open goals. Just not having that final pass, not hitting target when we need to hit target, and we deservedly went in the lead. But it just became a cagey game when we started giving the ball away quite a lot, and it wasn't a great game to watch, to be fair. So we get ourselves in the lead, and then we end up conceding immediately. But that goal's ruled offside, probably rightly so. I think it would have been more of a comfortable conversation to have if we had just scored that second goal. But I think if you gave 1-0 to Eddie Howe before the start of the game, he would have taken it. He would have snapped your hand off. And to go to a hostile place with a chance of potentially going to Wembley, that place is going to be absolutely rocking next week Wednesday. So I think we're in a good position. Southampton have to play a game against someone in the FA Cup. I can't recall who it is. So they've got a game on the weekend, and we've got the weekend off. So I think he'll be the happier of the two managers. So looking forward to it, and hopefully we can play a little bit better.
Nick, would you sacrifice the top 4 spot for a trophy this season if this hypothetically affects their...
So that question has been asked so many times. But if we are to win something, I think I need the romantic side of me has to come out, and I think we have to win a trophy. I think there's enough time to finish in the top 4. If I had to choose one. To be fair, I don't think you're dependent on the cash of the top 4 as of yet, because you have Saudi money just burning holes in that Newcastle bank deposit. But Claudio, if I am honest, I do think it's very possible to do both. But if I had to choose one, there's a gun in my head.
I mean, Carabao's how many cups? It's two so not cups. How many games? It's 2 games. If you win your next game, it's another one. It's 2 games that you can focus on and try and get across the line.
Potentially draw the next one in the final, and you could draw the next 2 games and then win on penalties in the final, and then you got the trophy. So what I'm very excited about is we don't concede goals. It's become sort of a set standard, and we're very hard to break down, and I think that's going to hold us in good stead, potentially for this competition, but also fighting for a European spot, whether it's a top 4 or potentially Europa.
Right, fair enough there, Nick. In the house, we've got Pums. Of course, Pums, we love you, and we've got Nevada too. What's up, Nevada? Selo, talk to us about this Rashford-inspired Man United. Things are just changing there. It seems like a player that Ten Hag wants to back, and he's getting the best out of him.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's great to see. I think he's been the best player in the world since the World Cup. He's just been on fire. 10 goals in 10 games, 10 consecutive games. He's just been, just confidence is oozing. And I think the most important thing I like about this transformed Rashford is he's making the right decisions around the box. I think he was sometimes a selfish player in the past, and also not having the right composure in and around the box to actually, finish, quite well. So I'm loving that. Confidence is oozing. It's obviously filtering through the club. It's putting less pressure on other players as well. I think it's great that obviously that the team is actually playing for each other. So 3-0 against Forest away, then at least it gives us an opportunity to rotate possibly that second leg, because it's next week in the midweek, and then we still have to play a Premier League game on that Saturday. So I think it gives us sets us up nicely. We're playing Preston on the weekend, the FA Cup. So at least play a decent.
Come on.
Was it Reading? I thought it was Preston. Sorry, man. Hey, man, doesn't matter. Hey, I don't listen. Hey, some of these games are foregone conclusions, so you don't actually keep note, man. I just saw blue, and I thought it was Preston. But yeah, playing Reading. The championship. I don't know how they're doing in the championship, but yeah, let's play a decent side out on Saturday, and then next week against Forest, we can obviously take just rotate a bit and give the other guys a chance. Maguire couldn't play yesterday because he was suspended, but I'm sure he'll play one of these next 2 games.
So can I just add something quickly?
Yep.
Yeah.
I do think we'll win if we play against Man United. And can I tell you why? Can I give you my theory? So Man United...
Like you're going to tell us anyway.
Man United have... And the reason I'm saying this is Man United have 7 games.
We play Barcelona we play Barcelona 3 days before the Carabao Cup final.
So there's 7 games that Man United have to play, potentially another FA Cup tie, and Newcastle only have 4.
Yeah, we've got
so
a lot.
that is the only thing. And I would hate to go to the new camp, potentially say lose 1-0 or draw 1-1, and then it's a very... it's a draining game on the Thursday. I'd hate that.
Yep.
Like if I'm Ten Hag thinking, he's got a second sort of, he's got another eye on that trophy on the Sunday. I don't know. I don't know what he.
No, no, you're right.
No,
you're right. It's 10 matches in 32 days for Man United.
Yeah.
And we haven't counted the potential 5th round FA Cup game. You know what I mean? So it's 10 matches in 32 days. Manchester United is playing the most amount of games in this period, just because we failed to finish the top of the Europa League group. So we're paying for that now by playing these two games that we probably didn't need actually. But also, it was when we were also not at our sharpest when we lost 1-0 to Sociedad at Old Trafford. So it is what it is. But I think obviously it would have been nice if, like the other top sides, I think Power's back. Oh, finally.
Yeah, I think I've also got Power. Just give me a second here.
Yeah, so at least I think if we were like the other top sides, guys, is that at least then we could at least maybe dip into the transfer window, right, and add one or two positions that we feel we're lacking, right? So you obviously assess and say, okay, cool, maybe we need another midfielder, but we've added a striker, good tick. But we need to add a midfielder, for instance, in that side.
Would you say that? Do you think Ten Hag would want to win a trophy immediately, or do you think he would potentially want to dabble with both, or would Europe be more important to him?
So I think the best way is to get knocked out by Barcelona, and then focus on top 4 and the League Cup and win the League Cup. So win the League Cup and top 4. I think that makes it a very good season. We haven't won since 2016, so at least we have a trophy. We have a bit of energy. You know what I mean? Jose Mourinho used to love the League Cup, guys. That guy always won the League Cup at Man United or Chelsea, and it always gave the team that energy for that next season to potentially win the title. So I think we must definitely target the League Cup and top 4. Europa League, let's leave it, and let's not try and like fight with Barcelona and try and win, and people are getting injured and all of that stuff. I think we must just try and get the trophy top 4. Makes it easier.
Listen, I'll tell you what, though, it's a difficult situation because you're a player for Man United, one of the biggest teams in the world, going away to one of the biggest teams in the world in that first leg. It's difficult to, if you hearing your manager potentially say, let's just suffer a little bit here, let's try and nick a draw, whatever it is. It's difficult because they also want to, they're on the biggest stage. Historically, Barcelona, Man United, if this was 10 years ago, would have been like creme de la creme. But because it's in Europa League, it's still like people are still licking their lips at this.
Definitely. Man United fans are definitely going to go to Camp Nou and say that nostalgic feeling of being in a stadium where we won the Champions League.
And I think the worst thing that could have been for Man United is that you got Barcelona. You could have got flipping anyone out of that draw, and it would have been a better tie than playing.
There was eight of the Champions League teams that fell out. We could have gotten any other ones, and then we got the best one.
Nah, but I think also just to touch on it, like the historic finals of the FA Cup where Man United used to beat us. I think it was 99 and 2000. I cried my eyes out as a lighty. But I think as a neutral, I don't know, Claudio Wonga, what do you think of a Newcastle Man United, rolling back the years in a cup final together? What do you think of that prospect?
No, I think it's a good one, like you said. I mean, it's a long time coming, I think, for Newcastle fans. And again, you can't ignore the fact that Man United are playing so many games. Before
final
they meet Newcastle. I think it will end up like that in the final. But I just think that I have this feeling that whatever happens, injuries or what, Newcastle are gonna fight for that and get over the line. They will beat Man United in the final. I just got a feeling about it.
No, well, I think, you know what, Bonga, I can't disagree with you there. I think it's going to be a tasty affair. I think the fact that there has been a bit of a drought from both ends, I think obviously the desire that 12th man is going to be a massive factor for Newcastle at any Wembley Stadium, anytime. So I think even this time, if you've got fans like you that are prepared to fly across the world to watch it, I think it's going to be good. And I think what I wanted to ask was, from your perspective, Nick, if they win the Carabao Cup, out of 10, how much would you rate that for your season?
I think that would be incredible. 20. I think Eddie Howe will get a statue.
So he'll get a statue, right? So, and this is what I'm trying to work out. And for you, Settle, in the same case, if you had to rate it, what would you give it from a Man United perspective?
Out of 10.
Yeah.
If we win the Carabao Cup and a top 4.
Yeah.
And the top 4, right?
Yeah.
I'm a 9, bro.
You give it a 9. Because this is what
20.
I was trying to measure. I was like, if we know if a statue is going to be erected at St. James's Park, we just know that that's what it means to this club. And from a Man United perspective, maybe it doesn't mean as much. But I suppose the drought on both ends is playing an important role. But gentlemen, we're going to move on and we're going to give our top 4 predictions. Obviously, the guys in studio here have given us our predictions. So I'm just going to share the screen. And so to show everyone where we're at with this, we're going to kick off first with Selo. Just give me a second here. So Selo, chat us through this top 4 prediction of yours. I mean, we are midway through the tournament, through the Premier League rather.
Can you guys see me there?
We can see you.
At least the graphics are better. No, I think. I had to think, man. I think, I don't know if you guys watched that video I shared and that bit of the article in terms of the team that's hungry to achieve something, right? Which is Arsenal, as opposed to the team like Man City, who've been there, who've won the title and so on and so forth. Where Man City's lacking is, where Man City is trying to obviously blend the two, where you've got a Rico Lewis who's very hungry and Ake who's very hungry. So you've got certain players in that squad who are hungry, right? But then not all of them are hungry to win the Premier League, right? they probably would be maybe hungrier to win the Champions League, for instance, right? So I think just the hunger that Arsenal has, that energy that they've shown, and I think Arsenal just plays at a frantic pace, and I think right now they're in pole position. You know, we were all talking about what would happen if Jesus gets injured, but Jesus got injured, and then ENQUIRIES there. You know what I mean? So he's stepped up to the plate and showing his talents as well. And then then with the toss up obviously between Man United and Newcastle there, I think obviously just my bias has Man United ahead of Newcastle. That's just honesty. Backing my side that will surpass Newcastle. Newcastle have the best league, have the best defense in the league, but I think we can definitely get that third position.
I mean, I do like how this is unraveling here. Potential Carabao Cup final between Man United and Newcastle. Now, all of a sudden, Man United are going to pip Newcastle at fourth. We've got Vard saying Arsenal, City, Newcastle, and Liverpool breaking the top four. I think that's an interesting shot, but we'll talk about that. Gents, we're going to move on to the next one.
What team is that?
Which team is which? This one over here?
No, I don't know which one is talking about. That fourth team is talking about.
The fourth team. We'll get there.
I haven't seen it anywhere in the top fours this season.
We'll get there. You know, you don't have to be in the top four throughout the season. You just need to be there at the end. Goalloungetv, so you backing your side to win the title, and you're thinking Newcastle are going to finish ahead of Man United. Obviously, City going to cruise here in second position.
Yeah, I think it might be similar to last year. I know something. This other Premier League, something's going to happen, but we'll wait and see. But the way I think will happen is Man City will push Arsenal all the way. I think, like Selo said, I don't want to carry on that. The Arsenal, the side looks hungry. I think when Arteta first came in, I think the first couple of games, that's what I did say, is that the side looked different in terms of they looked a bit more hungry, but that didn't last. The consistency wasn't there. But this year it's that times 20, you know, and it's looking good. And I think they do have what it takes. And again, we'll have to see what happens as well when this got a couple of days left with this transfer window, and see what what's left to bring in. But I am happy with what they have brought in so far. Again, in terms of hunger, Newcastle, they look the same. Some of their best players haven't been around, and they've still been putting in wins, and I don't think anyone has expected it. And I have been. I mean, if you look what the bookies have been saying, I look at that as well. They haven't been favorites for long. It's only like now where they're looking at the form and they're saying they'll win it. But I mean, when I saw they were playing since Eddie Howe got there, and if they kept it consistent, I mean, many teams are going to be in trouble. And I think that the fact that they're there now, they're tasting it. I think Man United will have to watch out there. Liverpool, now they can just worry about their own battles.
Look, in the house, we got Arjun back, we got Dia back, and they're sending us lots of love here. Pum's saying Newcastle are going to finish fifth. So Nick, we're gonna give you your time to speak about his comment over there. I think generally there's a consensus where we've got the Arsenal, Man City, Newcastle, and Manchester United pretty much going to stay as is what everyone's saying. Arjun saying, how about some Carabao Cup final prediction too, boys? Arjun, you've come late, man. We've already spoken about that. The next one we're going to get... Oh, that's the wrong one here. Sorry, we jumping the gun here. Nick, talk us through this.
Oh, Nick, I knew it.
No,
Nick was close to saying that they're going to win. He was this close, guys. This close to saying they're going to win the title. This close.
No. So we won't be close to winning the title, but what I do think is this prediction is based on Man United getting through versus Barcelona and Ten Hag getting excited about potentially winning a European title. And I do think City's year in the Champions League might be this year. And, if you finish third or second, there's no difference for Pep, in my opinion, if he's winning the Champions League. So I think they might drop the ball in terms of that. And after we lift the trophy at Wembley on the 26th of January, all we have to worry about is our Premier League form. So why not? Why not dream?
Agreed, yeah.
Why not dream indeed, Nick? I think as we talk about why not dreaming. I mean, I'm saying, yeah, when I'm looking
You're
at
right. Hey,
Dylan's
Claudia is
gonna
a
leave.
big dreamer. Claudia is a
The
big
shark.
dreamer.
so let me tell you where I am dreaming. The dreaming part is saying Arsenal's going to win this. That's where I'm dreaming, because my head is saying Man United or Man City are going to take it. That's my head. But then when I'm looking at it, the only reason I'm not going with the Man City victory is because I'm thinking the only way Pep's going to get his players back on side again is Champions League football. So they might be very much focused on that, and they'll be like, okay, we'll take it easy. So that's the only reason why I'm going with Arsenal. Yeah, as things stand, I think Arsenal are going to play their second string side throughout Europa. They're not going to give two shits about it. I think from a Newcastle perspective, I think the defensive season and everything else, I said that like an American defense. Anyway, the defensive side of things from a Newcastle perspective has been really good. And I think when we're looking, if you're not conceding goals, you've got every chance of, snatching a victory at any time of the game. And that's why I'm going to keep them there. I think from a Liverpool perspective, this is very much heart. This is my heart prediction here. And what I'm saying is if Liverpool can get their players back on side in terms of if they can get fit, Nick's touched on this. Look, Nick's not saying anything. The two of you are making jokes in comments. But Nick made this comment last week. And maybe it's the heart of the voice of the underdog that's really persuading me here. You said last week, Nick, you said if Liverpool can get their attacking players back and they can get them firing and they go on a bit of a run, things can change for them. So that's what I'm putting my cards in. That's what I'm banking on when I'm looking at how the fixtures are unfolding. And that's where I'm at. I don't know. Pum's saying, Claudio, you joining me in Europa, maybe. We got Armand saying, hopefully they shock everyone and get into the top 7. Hey. Boom saying, hi, boy.
He says the bees. He says the bees.
Oh, the bees, Brentford. Okay.
Brentford,
right.
yeah.
I just think out of the top 4 right now, if you look at the top 10, there's probably only one team there who's capable, who's proved that they can go on a run unbeaten for quite a few games. So yeah, I think
it's only Liverpool.
Liverpool, yeah.
They've proven it. I'm just basing that on what they've done.
Thank you, Nick. That's stats and data. That's not my heart speaking. All right, gents, we're going to move over to the relegation candidate side of things. And I know, guys, I think this is pretty much, we've all said the same thing here, really. We're stuck with the same 3 teams. And Nick, you didn't tell us which 3 teams you would put in.
Did you ask?
Yeah, it was in the group. You just didn't respond. So we're just like,
but Claudia had 2 different messages, so I don't blame you. I don't blame you, Nick.
So Claudia owes us a fine.
You guys are fine. Okay, I like how this plays. Yes, guys. Yes. You guys are fine. Okay. But nonetheless, we've got Bournemouth, Everton, Southampton in the comments. Do you think Aston Villa might? No, I'm just joking there, Vods. Take it easy. All right. What I'm saying is, are there any other names that should be thrown into this pot? I think, can we all guarantee that Everton right now are looking extremely first? They've never been relegated ever. Do you think it's going to be the first time?
Do you know with Everton, guys? There's 2 ways to go about it, right? You can go for the clever manager, ambitious manager, a manager who can get the right type of football going and all of that type of stuff, right? And then you can get the relegation specialists, right? And I think at this point in time, I don't know who can save Everton, guys, because I don't even I was thinking like long and hard. I was chatting to some other friend of mine. I was like, nah, man, nah. It's the mood is down at the club. Who did they have at the start of the season? You know what I mean? They've just gone up and down in terms of the last season, whoever they had, or they had Ancelotti. No, not Ancelotti. Sorry, they had someone before that. Benitez. Yeah, man, look at that. These guys just pick and choose who they want to dabble in with. I think they should roll the dice and go Stevie Bruce, and I think they'll survive.
You want a first class ticket to the championship? Get him. I think I've been following this club situation the last couple of days, and the biggest thing for me is if you look at them man for man, they're probably better than majority of those teams in that sort of situation. I just think if you look at the players that have been brought in, they're a combination of 4 or 5 different managers. And I think the direction from the board and the owner, Mushiri, has been has been very misinformed. They brought on TalkSport the other day one of the top agents that Mashiri, his name's Kia something.
Jorbishin, the guy who brought Mascherano to Liverpool, but
Kia something.
Kia Jorbishin. Yeah, is that Brazilian agent? Carragher is lambasting him, eh?
So Simon Jordan and him were going pound for pound, and it was quite interesting because he claims that he's not in Mashiri's ear, but he brought Ancelotti there. And at the end of the day, is Ancelotti and Everton fit? Probably not, but Ancelotti was always going to leave if Real Madrid came around the corner.
Yeah,
I just think there hasn't been a strategy from day one since that man's taken over. They spent in excess of £700 million since he took over 8 years ago.
They're screwed from a financial fair play position too.
Yeah.
They've really shot themselves in the foot.
But guys, if you look at that squad, they've got good players in that squad. So
yeah.
I personally I don't think the Bielsa move will work because Bielsa is a very selfish manager. He wants what he wants, and I don't think he's got the tools to go and scrap it out for 19 games.
Not now.
For me, if it's a short-term solution, you probably go for the tried and tested Sean Dyche just to get you out of the shit, and then you sort of see where you're going to be because his record is great. But
Nick, do you think? And you guys can weigh in on this as well. Do you think they're going to be able to turn things around this season? Should they not be getting someone that can possibly, regardless of how this ends, if they do land up in the championship, bring them back up? And maybe this is
that owner and that board will never accept it after what they've spent. They'll never say that.
No,
they'll never say. Look at their stadium's about to be unveiled. I think next year. There's no chance that they will be comfortable with making that decision to prepare for next season. No chance. And also, if I'm honest with you, Claudio, is Sean Dyche a bad shout in the championship?
Yeah,
probably not.
No, he's not. He's not. I think you just get one of the former players. I think rather get a former player that has got at least some credit from his playing days, and say that he tried.
There's only two.
Get the assistant. What's his name?
Duncan Ferguson signed for Forest Green Rovers today, League Two.
Oh, damn.
He left initially because he wanted to go and pursue his own managerial career
as a head coach. Then
listen, Duncan Ferguson's record as an interim was incredible. The other option is Wayne Rooney.
Wayne Rooney, go fetch Wayne Rooney at DC United, get him back. I think that's the last roll of the dice. Get Wayne Rooney in, or get Roberto Martinez just to be interim while he thinks about what to do with Ronaldo at Portugal.
Thanks. Yeah, there we go. Don't remind me about that. The situation that he's got that job.
But guys,
hang on, Nick. I just want to look at this. I know we've kind of settled on Bournemouth, Everton, Southampton. These are looking likely for several reasons. We're looking at, Gary O'Neill at Bournemouth. We're looking at the Southampton situation, and then obviously Everton in complete turmoil. But when we look at the points, you've got from Leicester City or even Nottingham Forest, realistically, they're in this mix. And what I was trying to figure out was I was trying to differentiate, okay, how do I put in a different name possibly so we don't all sound the same on tonight's show? And I'm trying to work this out. And if you had to try and drag someone down with them, who would it be and why would they be? You drag Leeds.
You drag Leeds just because they're struggling to score. Look at that. They got 26 goals, conceded 33. Wolves, at least now they've got a competent manager at the helm. And I think they're just clicking right now, and they also reinforcing the squad. West Ham doesn't know what they're doing. They don't know if they're still a top 6 side or top 7 side. They don't know what they're doing. I think they need to figure themselves out quite quickly.
But look, West Ham's biggest issue is the same as Wolves. They're just not scoring goals, but they're conceding. So if they can get the goals in the back of the net, surely, when you look at the others, it's like they're breaking even half the time.
No, definitely. But I feel that Wolves will be okay. Wolves will be okay, and West Ham will be okay. But Leeds, I'm not sure about them. I'm not sure about Leeds. I think Leeds, Jesse Marsh as a manager has done well to stabilize, but I'm not sure he can get them. I think Forest will survive. I think Forest will survive. I think that the atmosphere at that ground is amazing. I think they'll definitely survive, and I think they've got the right players in the squad. That Johnson kid, amazing. That kid is lightning quick, and Gibbs White also playing quite well in the number 10 position. I think they will be okay. And then obviously they just signed Woody to come on board for Forest. So I think they should be okay. But I think Leeds is the one.
Leeds is the one. All right, gentlemen, we're going to move on now. And this one we're going to be talking about is an interesting one. It's the best signing of the season to date so far. Goalloungetv, kick us off with the first name that you think deserves to be put up here.
Never give this some thought. The best signing of the season. I want to go and slap an Arsenal player on there.
What do you think about this? Listen to Sam's
Yeah, let me
comments.
think about it.
No, come on.
For a moment, I thought Mark was allowed
I
only
can't-
audio, no video, since Liverpool are out of the top 5. Thanks, Sam. Thank you very much.
Wonga, go for it, man. We don't mind you saying an Arsenal player, because an Arsenal player has to be a candidate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
I think we must include William Saliba as a signing, even though he's not a signing. So I think he is a signing. I think he's been your best signing, even though he was signed before that.
Yeah, true. I'm caught between him and Jesus.
No,
but...
Zinchenko, brother. Don't forget him, please.
And Zinchenko. Zinchenko was good. He was good. But Saliba, look, Saliba was there from the first game, and that's what I liked about it. It's like the first game, he was, he performed well, and it almost gave, I think all the Arsenal fans would even agree with me, is that as soon as they saw him and Gabriel together, you had a feeling as, what, it actually might be a safe season for us. It's not going to actually end bad for us. So I think, yeah, definitely I would give it, then if you have to choose one person, I'd give it to William Saliba. He's coming there and he hasn't looked out of place. Zinchenko and them have been good, but I think Saliba, week in, week out.
And I think that's a fair assessment, but I mean, to the point of, if he is an existing signing, so if he wasn't, let's remove him. What are you going to say, Zinchenko, then? Yes, maybe. No,
I would say Jesus. Zinchenko was good. I won't lie, he's done it well, but I'd give it to Gabriel Jesus. He's come there, and people did not really expect that from him also as well. And he's come in and he's banged in goals. He's looked problematic. He's really problematic.
Look, I'm not trying to sway your decision here, but I think
I'm giving 100%.
When I think Jesus coming in, I think there was an expectation. People knew he was good, but he had to step up to the plate. With Zinchenko, I think he was kind of undermined a little bit at Man City, and I think the impact he's had on the squad holistically has been far greater. But Selo, who's your player, best signing of the season so far?
Come on, guys. Dominating midfields all over the place. Casemiro, best signing of the season.
You're not going with the World Cup winner. Your little terror at the back there.
I think I must be honest.
Fidget spinner.
In terms of what I saw, also what was a gaping hole on the weekend was him not being there. I think a lot of the Premier League fans often sometimes also don't really know the quality of certain players that play in the Liga. They just think that they're just riding leagues and all of that stuff and just walking them and whatever. But I think Casemiro has shown us as well that it's just not just a destroyer. He has assists. He has 7 goals and assists this season. So he's definitely shown what we've been crying for as Man United. We've been crying for a defensive midfielder for the last 5 seasons. Someone just to be the shield in front of the back four, and obviously do the dirty work that no one wants to do. I think he's definitely lifted the level in that midfield, and we just need to get someone to play alongside him, because right now Eriksen is tired, guys. I think we draining his heart now. Right now, he needs to take a bit of a break. Don't laugh. You see, I knew it. I knew you hasn't laughed. I knew he hasn't laughed. I knew he hasn't laughed. But yeah, Casemiro, guys.
All right. Well, Nick. So Wonga opting to go for an Arsenal player, Silo opting to go for a Man United player. So I think we're seeing where this trend is going. I mean, we might as well tell us your best Newcastle signing here so far, even though this was general to the league. You might as well tell us.
I do think it's a no-brainer to be clear, just based on the stats. You know, Holland has been unbelievable. Like he's like a duck to water in the league. The stats speak for themselves, and it's just scary to see what else he's going to do. But if I was going to go with my heart, I think Nick Pope is
£10 million signing,
and
10 clean sheets.
He's conceded 11 goals this whole season. That's unbelievable, guys. So, yeah, I think he's a fair shot. You know, maybe from a defensive point of view, I'll probably say from a defensive point of view.
That is going to go for a Liverpool player.
Arthur Melo. I might as well go with Arthur Melo. Why not?
That would be such a Claudio thing to do, guys.
Yeah.
Darwin Núñez, you require Peter Crouch.
Listen, you guys get loud about Darwin Núñez, but I mean, Anthony costs more than Darwin Núñez, but what has he done in comparison? Come on now. You know what? Darwin Núñez does something. Everyone's like, oh, he's the Andy Carroll. But Anthony, what does he do? Spins around in a circle. Everyone's like, oh, he's a Man United player. That's fine. Anyway, let's keep going there, Nick. What are you saying?
He scored goals at least, man. He scored some goals as well.
So is Núñez, man. He's also
but he misses.
He scored more. He scored more than Anthony. And
yes, he has, but
and he's cost less.
Misses,
don't come here with your stuff, man. Come on. Who doesn't miss? Which best player doesn't miss? Odegaard doesn't miss.
No, he's saying Odegaard.
No, Jason's saying Odegaard is.
But Odegaard was from last season, so the count counts.
Yeah.
But I think just if I was just thinking about like if you had to look at different units, I think from a goalkeeping unit, I think Nick Pope stands out. I think there's two from a defensive side. I think Botman has been incredible for Newcastle. I think Martinez has also been a revelation at Man United. I think Casemiro takes it in the middle. And then up front has to be
Haaland. Yeah.
We can't speak about Saliba was owned by Arsenal like 3 seasons ago.
I agree with Nick. Everything he said there. Sven Botman has been good. You can see why he was highly rated at Lille.
Yeah. I mean, I think that was going to be my shot was Sven Botman, largely because I think he's gone under the radar. I think Newcastle have picked him up, and he's also Nick Pope's been fantastic in goals, but the two of them have also they've helped transform this defense. I think another name to give. I mean, I think Aman said Matoma, even though he wasn't signing for this season, he's come back on loan. Matoma is a good shot for Brighton, but I think from a Fulham perspective, when we're looking at sides that are punching above their weight. Paulinho, 100%. I mean, he's come in there and he's similar to Casemiro in terms of what he's done for Man United. I think this player's had the same effect for Fulham. So another name to be putting out there, in my opinion. Is there anyone else you guys want to shout? Not necessarily for the best one, but notable signing.
I think Alvarez just from his World Cup performance. You know, obviously in the World Cup, I mean, at City you're going to play when Pep allows you to play, essentially. But I just think, in terms of him coming sort of under the radar, I think he was signed in January, but he only joined the team in June and in July. I just think it's just unbelievable that like I've never heard of him. I'm sure most of you hadn't heard of him or had seen him play. And he's actually like he's not even the finished article, but he could be for most teams. I think he's a fair shot.
No, right, I agree. I agree, but you know, it actually just shows that I think obviously the teams that are doing quite well are the ones that are doing well, and I think not many teams are like, you know, some seasons we've got those teams that are punching above the weight. I think this season obviously it's Fulham and Brighton, so I think that and the Brighton players, guys, are all people who've been on loan coming back. You know what I mean? Caicedo playing well. He was signed and then was left there in Ecuador, and then only came now. Matoma, all these guys, they've got like these hidden gems in their team all over. But you know, I think it's sadly we can't pick any Liverpool players, Claudio. But we would try.
Not this season. Next season.
We tried. We tried to.
There'll be a time. There'll be a time. Don't worry. We've been dominating for a long time. We need to give other people a turn. You know, let them shine. I mean, Vard is really pushing this point. Kamara, from an Aston Villa perspective, saying he's been great, even though he's only made 14 appearances this season. So interesting. I don't know if any of you have been keeping an eye out on him. So just keep that in mind. Worst signing, gentlemen. Let's hear it. There's a few candidates here. I know you guys know who my name is out there. I've already mentioned him.
Did you guys? When did you guys sign to? Huh?
Arthur Melo, bro. We signed that guy. He hasn't even
He
played. He's played 23 minutes.
He
The whole
has to.
season.
23 minutes.
And we needed a midfielder. 23
minutes. No, man. I want to go to Chelsea for a worst signing, man. I need to just pick any Chelsea player and then worst signing. Guys, listen there. I love this guy, right? But I think I love him, but I think he's just not suited to the Premier League. Kalidou Koulibaly, guys. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
But do you think the age? He's coming to look. I think it's harsh.
He came at the age of 31, right? Cool, right? But guys, every time he plays for Chelsea, he just looks lost. He just keeps making errors. I think he's guys. Sorry, guys. I love him as a player, but
I've got another one.
There we go, gents. I mean, Bart has said this name. I've mentioned it. He spins around in circles. Anthony. Not that he's a bad player. Vards is saying this. The only reason you could justify the price tag is in terms of that's what makes it bad. Is the amount they've paid for the impact. Because I think someone said this. I heard someone saying, if you're paying £80 million for a player, and you could argue the same thing about Darwin Núñez, by the way. If you're paying this much money for a player, they need to come in and they need to make an immediate impact.
It needs to be the finished article, basically, yeah. And
but it's
I
not
agree.
like that anymore.
It's not. It's crazy what we're paying for these players, guys. But sorry, Nick, you were about to say something.
I don't think we've given him enough time, but I found it outrageous. If it worked, it would have been a great signing for them. But Diego Carlos to Wolves has sort of just fizzled out. Not done much.
Yeah.
Wolves in a relegation battle.
Was he not on a loan though? I think Wolves had done worse.
They picked him up as a free agent.
Yeah, but they've done worse because they paid 27.5 billion for Guedes, and that guy's done absolutely nothing, and he's gone back to Benfica now.
I also like that one from Arjun Mopé to Everton. You know, I'm sure
I didn't even know he was playing there. I didn't know he was playing there.
Huh?
I didn't know he was playing there. Hey?
No,
shocking.
So Frank Lampard speaks to the board, and they've just waved goodbye to Richarlison, and then they're like, "Okay, well, who are we going to replace him with?" And they thought, "Who the hell thought of Mopé? Like, come on."
They could have gone to the French league and just picked any guy who scored 5 goals. Would have been much better signing, guys.
Yeah.
Gents, what about? I mean, this one for me again. It's also
tough, guys. I forgot about it.
I feel bad for him because Tuchel wanted to use him in a certain way, and then Potter's come in.
Okay, and Richarlison for Spurs. I know he's had a good World Cup, but what's he really done for Spurs?
He's playing out of position, but yeah. He's supposed to be playing number 9. If I'm being honest, Richarlison plays better as a number 9. He doesn't play well.
Fofana.
No, he was injured. He's injured. I'm going to give him a chance, man.
Oh no, I didn't know. I'm asking. I'm just asking.
I just said fun, and I didn't know where he was. Wonga's just picking any Chelsea signing is like, hey, that's a bad signing.
Look, I mean, I was going to mention
really they were.
Cucurella.
Cucurella, 60 million, bro. Like again, I think it's the price tags that are for me. It's just that. How do we justify the worst signing? It's contribution for the amount you paid for, right?
Calvin Phillips, guys. I think is also bad. Is also worst signing.
Yeah, that's been a poor signing. I mean, even his coach called him fat. So that was quite funny.
Yeah.
Did you not see that, Claudia?
No, I missed that one.
No, he said he was overweight. But I thought.
I remember.
I thought what was quite interesting is now you've got Anthony Gordon. He's missed training for 3 days in a row because he's
Newcastle player.
Newcastle. But now they should have cashed in on him when Chelsea offered 60 million because he's been absolutely average this season. I'd rather spend, if we are going to spend, it's quoted like 35, 40 million. I'd rather top up that price and go get Maddison, if I'm honest with you. Yeah, I hope to be proved wrong if we do get him.
Would you rather want Maddison or Tielemans if you had the option?
I think Maddison.
Madison.
I watched Tielemans twice against Newcastle in the last couple of weeks, and he was dead average. He honestly looks like
tired.
He's going through the motions to
try to get him. I think he needs to because obviously his contract comes up in the summer. So I think it's either you pick him up for 10 million now or wait till the summer and pay him a big wage.
the big talk will be where Declan Rice goes. And that is probably a discussion for next week, Claudia, because we'll probably talk for another 15
Well, it's
minutes.
looking like Arsenal's his chosen destination is what they're saying at the minute. I don't know, but Newcastle throwing their hats into the ring?
No, I'd love that. I think it would be a direct replacement for Shelvey, and then it can free Bruno going in
No,
more
but
of
you
a
guys
format.
you want to sign McTominay? Please sign McTominay.
No.
Please sign him. Please,
God.
please. He's a passion merchant. Come on, you guys love passion merchants there up in the north.
No, we got Eddie Howe at the wheel here, not Stevie Bruce. So
Sam's got a decent name here for the worst signing, Lingard. He's
Mm.
got on. What's he done for Nottingham? That's also an interesting shot. Gents, I don't know. Before we move on to the betting corner, it's going to be quick fire sort of betting predictions here. Is there any sort of activity or any name you want to throw out for this window before it officially shuts for the teams as to who you think the teams need to go get? And I mean your team in specifically. I know Wonga, Arsenal doing what they can to bring in players at the moment. They've signed two. They've signed in a centre-back. I think it was from Poland, and they've brought, obviously, Tossard in there. Is there anyone else that you would like to add to the Arsenal squad or to the Arsenal ranks? I know they're looking at for centre-mid currently.
Wonga.
Can you guys hear me? Sorry. Oaks, yo, it's freezing. It's freezing bad on my side, Oaks. Yo, it's freezing bad. It's freezing bad.
Wonga, when it freezes,
Sorry.
just carry on talking. We can see you, bro. It's freezing on your side, not ours.
Yo, speak, Wonga, yo.
No, like I could hardly hear what Claudio was saying. I just heard
Oh.
Arsenal signing players. That's all I heard. So that's what I'm saying.
Well, before the window shuts,
And then I heard now you
Wonga,
guys
is
are
there
trying to ask me a
anyone? Is there
question. So
anyone?
can you
Is there
repeat
anyone
that?
you want Arsenal to add? This window.
He's looking at his notes.
I think I would have thought an extra striker, Claudio. That's what I would have thought, because we've got Nketiah doing well. Then Jesus is off, and then the only thing now I'm worried about, and I mean those are the ones that are firing, is who's going to back up that? I think we definitely need to have three decent ones if we're going to finish in the league, and then also looking towards next year if we want to compete in the Champions League. The midfield, like the players like Patrick Vieira and stuff, I think they're decent. So there's also who's coming back. It's Smith Rowe also come back as well. Very competitive in the midfield. I don't think we'll keep all of them for 3 years, to be honest with you. But yeah, I think if there's one player, we need to sign someone up front. I do not have anyone in mind at the moment. Well, I would love a Haaland, but obviously that's not going to happen.
Okay, Selo.
Man,
And Tanjuma wouldn't have been a bad signing, you know. But anyways, yeah, he's gone to the wrong side.
Claudia, we don't have money, man. So I think it's pointless to just say anything because we don't have money, bro. We don't have money. That's the end of the day. We just don't have money.
Don't worry about it. Liverpool in the same boat. I know what you're saying.
So in all honesty, I think it would be great to get some player on loan because that's all we can afford is to get a player on loan. But at this point in time, I really don't know who we can get on loan at this point in the season. But yeah, that's the only thing we have available is to get a player on loan. And yeah, I haven't heard much about players on loan. So yeah, man, it's tough times.
Nick?
I would go buy Ivan Toney back. I would go get James Maddison, and I would get another winger to replace Murphy if I was greedy. But it's probably only going to be one midfield, and it's likely going to be Anthony Gordon. But we did all our business in the last couple of days of the last window, so let's see.
Right, gents, we're going to move over to go to...
Wait, you also have a team. Just because you're in top four, we can't ask you. Come on.
I know my team, but it's sad. I've got an American owner like you've got an American owner. Things are tough now. Now I need to sell Nat Phillips and sell this guy and this guy to hopefully bring in a player. It's ridiculous at the minute. But
at least you can sell to bring in. I can't even sell to bring in. I can just only sell, and I can't even bring in because
I just can't understand it. These guys are talking. They're talking Jude Bellingham. What's that guy going to cost? He's going to cost like 120, 30, maybe 50 million pounds. There's all these guys after him. So where they getting this money that we don't know from? I know they're looking the whole sales thing. They're looking for side investors, minority investors. Maybe that'll boost the transfer kitting.
Why don't you get Scott McTominay? You can give him Scott McTominay. Silla.
Passion
And,
merchant.
we'll give you Arthur Melo. How about that?
I had high hopes for him. I had high
we
hopes
need,
for
a
him
captain,
at
we
Liverpool.
need a captain for our reserve team.
Would you take Marco Reus there, Man United? Silo, I was just saying.
Claudio, I've got nothing. I might as well
You're saying
take
on
anyone.
loan. You're saying on loan.
I've got nothing. I might as well take him. I've got nothing.
He wouldn't be bad at all.
Because that's experience, right? At least he can play in the number 10 and wide. But he's just very injury prone, which is sad. But yeah, we really don't have much options. But I'll take him definitely in a heartbeat. Listen, if I could, I'd go to Villarreal and get Danny Parejo to come through and help out. But listen, we grasping at straws. We really don't have much.
All right, gents, let's quickly give our predictions here. Also, I'm surprised there's no noise from the player that did really well in the World Cup for France. It was Muani, plays for Frankfurt. Anyone heard anything about him? I really liked what I saw at the World Cup. Liked his work ethic. I like his pace.
There was a rumor of Man United early on in the window, but they said maybe we could look at him in the off season. But yeah, man, he actually is a good player. He'll probably leave Frankfurt in the summer.
Look, he could have won France the World Cup, but anyway. Right, betting corner. Chelsea versus Fulham. Wongadinga, quick fire. What do you think is going to happen here? London derby.
1-1 draw.
Settle.
1-1 draw.
Yeah, I think it'll be a 2-1 to Fulham.
2-1 to Fulham, away from home.
Is this a Premier League game or
100%.
Premier League?
This weekend?
Oh man, it's FA Cup. It's FA Cup this weekend.
No, I think these are Premier League fixtures.
Oh, but that's for next week. That's for next weekend.
Yep, it's for next weekend. We're ahead of schedule, yeah, gents.
We're ahead of schedule, yeah.
No betting corner this week.
Yeah, because Nick knows that he's not playing this weekend. That's why he knows.
That's exactly.
I watched us get knocked out.
I'm sure that sucked, eh? That sucked at Hillsborough, right?
Yep, that's it.
Oh, it's unlucky, man.
So on that note, gents, let's hear those final thoughts then.
Great show, lads. Great to be back on the show. Hopefully, we can have 3 of us on this show can make top 4.
Let's see what happens there.
Good luck to the FA Cup teams. Good luck to the FA Cup teams this weekend. I hope Reading run you guys into the ground. So when we find you, you guys are even more tired. We'll find you at the Carabao.
And is Quentin Fortune still an assistant there?
No, I think he's
left. Did he leave? I thought he was, yeah.
English FA, if I'm not mistaken. One of the England youth teams.
Okay, oh yeah, fair, okay, cool.
So Lovad says you're right. It will be Arsenal, Liverpool, and Arsenal. Right, Wongading, what are your final thoughts there?
Now, you know me, guys. Happy to be on top. Hope we can do it another weekend. Obviously, no game this weekend, but hopefully we can do it. Continue our form. That's all I'm hoping for. But it's to win it.
All I have to say, Wonga, and this probably applies to myself as well. The great Nas Buerta once said,
"Oh my goodness." Say that again.
Down the line.
What is that? Say it again, Nick. Repeat that.
You never win a Currie Cup in May.
The great Nas Buerta once said, "You never win a Currie Cup in May." It's always down the line where you find out where the winner is. So Wonga, just relax. For our foreign listeners, Nas Buerta is a rugby player.
From a famous rugby player.
Right, Vaz's final thoughts are saying we all know Arsenal hate playing in March. And I think that's pretty much from the comments side. Gentlemen, just want to say thanks again for the show this evening to everyone who's hopped on online. We love you and appreciate you. And, of course, do the right thing. And that is what, Nick? You love doing this? Show the action. Show the action. Drive, you sons of guns. Right, do you know how to end the show?
3,
I
2,
haven't
1. Stop it.
Stop it.
Stop
That's
it.
what I wanted to know. Yeah, what's going on? Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys maybe
This is-
changed it.
Also, you know what? Arjun's still on the line. Yeah, Arjun, you know this whole stop it thing's because of you. You guys remember that?
Can you send a recording maybe of himself saying stop it, and we could maybe play around with it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Arjun, do that. Just send us a recording saying stop it. Or actually, dear Arman, everyone, VODs, anyone, send us a voice recording of saying stop it and we'll put it in at the end. All right, okay, let's try it again.
Love
3,
it.
2, 1.
Stop
Stop it.